Data plays a key role in everything, not only in business, but also in professional sports, from alpine skiing to soccer to Formula One and even cycling. Which brings me to the next topic, how data helps you to win the race. And for this, we have our very special keynote speaker, and I'm so proud to have him here in our studio. In a few seconds, he will be present. It's the one and only, the real Spartacus, Fabian Cancellara. And for those who don't know who Fabian Cancellara is, first of all, shame on you. And for those who don't really remember what his achievements were, let's have a look on what Fabian did on a bike.
Champion du monde et gagnant la médaille d'or, Fabian Cancellara. World champion and winner of the gold medal, Fabian Cancellara, Suisse.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor and a privilege to welcome in this virtual studio for this Veeam stream, the one and only Fabian Cancellara. Give him a big round of virtual applause in the chat box if you want. Fabian, hello, how are you doing?
Hello everyone that are listening today to this virtual way to talk about data and about a bit of my journey during my career.
All right. Fabian, when you see those images that we just showed, this overview of your career, what goes through your mind?
I mean, it's super nice to look back, especially when you're on top of the podiums and you're winning bike races. But on the other hand, you have also the other side, when you have seen it, when you crash down, when you fall, when you done mistakes. This is actually when it was even tougher. But I look always with goosebumps back because, in 17 years, a lot of emotional came together, and I'm super happy on the end. I could end with the gold medal my career.
Yeah, it's really wonderful. What the goal of today, the goal of this talk that we're having is to go through, well, part of your career, but also always make the link to what was the importance of data at that certain moment, because you started at a very young age. There it is, how to champion your data, how to make sure that your data allow you to win races or win more races. You started way back. I think it was in the year 2000. You started at a wonderful cycling team. It's MAPE. We all know that from, we as Belgians know that from Johan Museeuw. How was that for you to ride for this huge team that is MAPE?
Yeah, for me it was like a dream come true because first at the time I was still on my apprenticeship. As a typical Swiss, you do that, and you don't focus on the sport or on the professional side. And yeah, I had this chance to really join that team because 98 and 99, I won the Junior World Championships on time trial, and then of course they have looked on good riders, and I was one of them. And of course, I joined this team in 2000, and for me it was an amazing experience. Was definitely special to join such a crazy, huge cycling team with, of course, Johan Museo. You have said it.
Yeah. If we talk about data, it's for me, it's not that long ago. The year 2000. It's almost 20. It's 21 years ago, but I still remember as if it were yesterday or last week. If we talk about data, what was the data that you could collect from your experience on the bike?
Yeah, simple, just the heart rate. That was actually the
That was it.
beginning. Yes, I started. I was under 23. Then I changed to the professionals in the same year. That's why I got a heart rate belt, a heart rate watch, like to see, but it wasn't yet connected to the computer at the time. So for me, was everything a bit new because, of course, I had a mobile phone, but of course, not the smartphone like we have today with all different apps where you can connect everything. It was just really simple. So I had to learn about listening, or not just my experiences on how I've been riding all the time, but definitely seeing now a heart rate that it's on the screen, that how much actually, when you do exercises, how it high goes and down and this. And then, of course, you did testing in a lab, but that's all step by steps that came. And that's why I started definitely simple. And today, just the example of today, when you become a professional, the heart rate is actually something easy to get in, because today have many more. And this we talk later as well.
Yeah. After Mappe, there was a next adventure, because then you went to another team, Fassa Bortolo. There, well, you didn't only step up team-wise, but you also stepped up data-wise, because then there was a new thing that was added to your bike.
Yeah, in Fassa Bortolo, the trainers at the time, they told me, so now, Fabian, next step. And they said, next step is not just the team. Next step, they told me, it's power. So we need to get you a power meter on the bike. So the power meter was a separate tool, but it was connected with the cable at the time. So can you imagine, you have a power control in the front, and then a cable that goes down to your bottom bracket where you have the cranks, and you put stickers on, you put and not connected by Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. So was at the time, it was just the best what you could get. And definitely for me was different to get all those new technologies in terms of power. Then you had the heart rate. So you have two individually things that actually are helping you to do your trainings. And so I was confused at the beginning, but I must say that lucky I got the power meter, because this and the heart rate has helped me definitely to do my trainings, and especially the specific trainings, much better. And this was the experience to it.
Okay. Can you still remember when you were riding for Fassa Bortolo what your average power level was at that time?
Yeah, of course. On a time trial, the power average was definitely higher. But the thing is, I don't really remember, because honestly, I can't get those data from that time converted to today, because the platforms have been changed many times. And so, because it's 16 years now. And so in these 16 years, I have from 2009, I have every data, but we have all the different devices from Macintosh to Android to whatever, which devices. So it wasn't so good. And that's why I have certain data only from 2009 onwards to 16. Okay. But I think these are already so many data that helped me. But for me, it was like this journey to begin. It's like you done your old pictures, when you look with your Kodak where you done it, and today you have everything digitally. So it's kind of the same.
Yeah. Looking through the books with the old pictures.
Yes,
Then
yes.
after Fassa Bortolo, we go towards the pinnacle of your achievements. And there's a lot that you did. I still remember 2010 when you won the Tour of Flanders, and you have like your achievements are huge. But I think that the most important year for you was 2016.
Yeah, definitely. This is
Yeah.
2016 is my last year. It's the year where I knew it's going to be my last season. It's every race is going to be the last. I mean, it started in spring with an amazing win in Strade Bianche, my third win. This was I don't say a release, but it was like, I mean, it was unique. It was amazing that to have that win on Plus, because I went with big confidence to the classics. I haven't won a big classic, but I arrived on certain podiums. And then, of course, in 2016, there was also the last Tour de France participation. We arrived in Bern, in my hometown, and to arrive there, yeah, amazing as well. And then, of course, what comes, it's actually the ultimate special one, because I explained already, I stopped my career with the gold medal, and this is also where we come to our focus, that the data insights about to go to the Olympics, how you prepare the Olympics, what are actually has helped me to get that gold medal, because at the time at the Tour de France, I did not know how good I was. At the Tour de France, I was emotional blocked, that I felt I'm not in a good shape. I went home from the Tour de France
Yeah.
and I did not know how good I am, because I said, I go to the Olympics. Yeah, I go there. My last Olympics it will be my fourth Olympics being a participation on. But because in the beginning, they all said, it's a hard parcours. And if you don't have results, and especially myself, I need results on the races, because I race to win bike races. But if you don't win, how you get this confidence out of you? And that's why it was special when it came from Tour de France preparation home towards the Olympic Games.
I just have a question, Fabian. During the Tour de France, why was it that you were like emotionally blocked? What's going on?
I mean, the yellow jerseys, all the years, all the up and downs. I mean, I have 29 days in yellow. I won prologues. I won stages. I suffered. I got many things. Sacrificing, being away from the family. I think these been all things that somehow, because I'm a fully emotional person, and this has had a huge impact on the, I don't say on the performances, but in this, I don't say a small lack in my body and in the mind, where I suffered more to knowing that it's my last one, because it feels strange to know that you don't come ever back as a bike rider to ride the Grand Boucle, the Tour de France. That's why for me it was strange. And of course I knew that every other race beginning of the season until to the Tour de France was my last. If it's a Tour de Suisse, if it's the Tour de Flanders, or if it's a Paris-Roubaix, Milano-San Remo, whatever which race. And that's why for me it was strange. But I probably, when I look back, it was important to go through it, because what comes now and what we're talking now is might be the success with the combination about data insights, and the feeling, the experiences, what I went through 16, 17 years as a professional rider.
Yeah, because you came out of the Tour de France, like you said, you weren't feeling great. You were, I think, exhausted. And then you had the Olympic Games that were coming up. Now it's all about the preparation, while you think about yourself, my body is not ready for the Olympics.
Yeah, this is the Olympics. This is actually the parkour of the Olympics. And this is what the trainer has told me, showed me, and say, look, and not just a week before, already at the beginning of the year, we knew about the 54.6 kilometers. We knew about the high difference, the climbs. We knew about how many turns. We knew about how many descents, how many rolling roads we're going to have. And this in the beginning has made, wow, it's a tough one. Yeah, of course. I knew it's a tough one, but I said, if I haven't seen it, how I gonna know the feelings that I gonna make for it? Because for not everyone, a climb is a climb. For some of one, maybe 2% is hard. But here we have a 7% average climb with peaks on 13. But honestly, if you might watch the Olympic Games, yeah, I must say the peak was more than 13%. And that's why we had this. And so how are you going to prepare? And how are we going to prepare the Olympic Games in training in terms of how is your condition be after the tour, or how you can do this specific training? And I think we have a small video that we can show quick what the Olympic Games has been.
Let's have a look. And there you are with the gold medal, Fabian. Did you immediately realize when you got off the bike that, yes, I have it? Or was it still unclear?
Not really. I was exhausted, honestly, and I was full of emotion. And this also why I want to go into a bit deeper how everything came to that moment. Because, like I explained, I went home from the Tour de France, and I did some 3 days recover. And then my trainer, that was also the national coach from Switzerland, he came to Switzerland, and we started the specific training behind the scooter. Like we did scooter training, and we have found in my place where I do already some exercises on the time trial bike, we have found, or we simulated somehow this parkour, this profile that you see on the screen, that we tried left, right, up, down, turn around. And I mean, we just implemented something that we could say, okay, this is similarly to that. And I started training, we did it, and yeah, we did it. And like a training, like specific, like focus, concentrated, and I was fully exhausted. And in the evening, trainer is calling me, and I said, yeah, and how the data went, and he said, Guy, you know, Chicho, that's a bit the name that he told me at the time. Chicho was a bit my surname in his way. To I don't say to just the way we talk together, and say, you know what, we're gonna get the medal. And I said,
he told you already.
No. I said, no, come on, hey, Tour de France. I mean, you know, and the training, I didn't felt like I should feel. So you know what? You remember what I told you, or do you remember still what I told you at the beginning of the year in 2016? And I said, yeah. You said, if we want to have success, still this year in 2016, we do not follow only your experiences on your gut feeling or the experience you have by riding all those years. We need to implement the data and your experiences on your side. These two things we need to put together in once. And we cannot only go data-wise and say, okay, data, because you're going to explode. But we need both. And this is what has made the combination. And by the end of that talk, when he told me about the difference of data, the differences of how I did my exercises on my time trial bike, and this was really, really hard ones. And I was on the bike, suffering like hell, but it felt like I'm not good. And this is where he, during our call, he showed me after when I went to him in the hotel, because I do not believe it what he said, but I have seen it on the screen, I have seen it by all the data, that we are really, really good. And in that moment, when I have seen the data by computer, by the insights, it has given me a boost, like a boost that I said, it's unbelievable, because this was the confidence, because I have seen those data, and I'm not a guy that goes against it, but still I'm wearing a mechanical watch and not a digital watch. So I'm this combination guy, but I definitely have, and must say, before I left, the 1st of August, the family, during the barbecue, I said to my family and to the friends that being there, because it's National Day in Switzerland at the 1st of August, I said, when I'm going to win a gold medal, I will stop my career straight away. And they looked at me and said, what the hell? And I tell you, in 2 days, I have got so much confidence that, of course, you have seen the race. I mean, I won and I was exhausted. But the thing about especially that because of this confidence, I reached something unbelievable. And what was unbelievable, what I reached is, this is actually the profile. I mean, this is the whole file of my Olympic Games. So don't get crazy about it, because you might don't know anything what all those details are. But the first part is just the warm up, and then the last part we see all those different numbers in the different colors. This is from cadence, this is from altitude meters, this is speed, this is power, this is heart rate, this is everything. So this doesn't tell you yet so much.
How many things were measured at that time? Because we come from a heart rate monitor to a power meter in 2005, and now we have, like, how many parameters are there? Like 6 or 7?
Yes, there are multiple parameters, but the race, you don't watch so much on that, because I was fully focused, and this is why I could really be in my tunnel. I could, from this confidence boost, from this emotional impact on the experience I have done during the Tour de France and all the other races, I have become like, sounds like weird, but I have become like a beast in a tunnel that was only purely focused to reach what I want to reach. And the crazy thing is about what I have reached is what is special. And the special is, I don't know if you've seen it, but you see definitely some red colors on the screen.
On the right-hand
and I
side.
tell you, I have reached 4% more that's ever have been measured with all my data I have gotten accumulated. So I reached from 60 minutes, best performance ever in my career in those last many years. I have reached 4% more. So I reached something unique, something special. But I think it's nice to see these red numbers, but on the end, I don't make so much out of it, because for me was always, I was focusing on what I want to reach, is winning. But I think with so many experiences that came together, I must definitely say that it's unique, it's special, and the trainers today they can plus minus say in which level you're gonna probably arrive, or what you're gonna push, because with your weight, with your condition, with all the parameters you can put together today, because you have multiple parameters. So today you can nothing fake. People, special trainers that sit home and can calculate by themselves without knowing you what might are the chances, how much watts you're going to push. And definitely here I reached over 1 hour race 450 watts, and this is why I was super exhausted on the end. And the combination of what I explained, the data, how much still confidence this can give, but on the other hand, data can also destroy you, because if you only have data, if you only have that, how are you going to balance it if you have a bad day, or if you are mentally blocked, or if you have something? Because the data, they cannot tell you if you are maybe you had arguing at home with your kids, with your wife, or something doesn't work, or something was really not good in your life, whatever it was. I mean, everyone in the world, we are just humans, we are not robots. So a computer is somehow the robot, but we are humans, and so we are not driven that we can push a button. And this is why the trainer knew to me especially that in my case, I needed the data to get this knowledge about the experience, because if I will only listen to my experience, then this will not happen, because we could train specific. And today, in 2021, it's not about only that, what you implement in all your trainings or what you implement on the success level, because today there are much more new technology in. I mean, you have glucose level monitoring today. You have certain gimbals to analyze the data. I mean, you do aerodynamic sensors, you can add it. So this is at the time, I was in 2016 at the Olympic Games, that was not yet the case to have on plus to perform, because today, can you imagine, I mean, you might have been shocked, but this is reality. The cook and the nutritionist of the cycling teams, they can see straight away after the race already how much the rider has burned and how much his performance was on the day. And certain riders, they get the food in the evening measured by the cook, talked with the doctors and the nutritionist. And I know it sounds crazy, but today it's everything about every little details. And today they invented and they really came, it's not just the bike aerodynamic, it's not about training at all, it's really everything. And this is today really something that I could not live straight away now when I hear it. But the riders, for them, this is just normal. For them, it's somehow normal. But I always, when I talk to the young riders, I always say, guys, do not forget, you are a human. We are not robots. And that's why it will be interesting the next years how the International Cycling Federation is going to react to implement the data into the bike races. Because when you watch bike races, you can see sometimes how bike riders, how many watts they're pushing, what's the heart rate. And it's, I don't say like Formula One, but in Formula One, you have much more still details. But there is also nothing to hide, like to hide and say, because on the end, you see when a bike rider wins bike races, this is actually the results that are actually talking, because you can push as how many watts you want, you be the best in training, but then in a race, you not win bike races. Something is wrong. And that's that you have, even in trainings, world champions, but in training, you don't need to be a world champion. You need to be a world champion on the road at the races, because it's about racing.
Yeah, if we go back in time, if we go back to the year 2000, there you had your belt, you had your heart rate meter. 2005, you had your power meter, so it became more professionalized. Then 2016, we saw the graphic with all the parameters that you had, like the cadence and the watts that you were pushing and everything. Now we go to glucose level monitoring, aerodynamics. What do you see within 5 years, Fabian? Because I think that the evolution is going so fast. What do you predict for the future?
Yeah, I think the smartphone will have this impact on cumulating all those things together. I mean, or even you have it on your Wahoo screen, or if it's a Garmin, whatever, which tool you have. I mean, it's not because what I have for partners on my side. I mean, today it's definitely something open, but I think what today is definitely useful for a lot of people, they do not have any knowledge about sport or about nutrition, that you can get small support on it, because you don't need to have always a person that explains you things, because today you can go on YouTube, you can read everything on the internet. I mean, this is just really easy. But I think for someone that doesn't know how much is good for him to push, you can do your own tests on a climb. You can do indoor tests. You can, I mean, if it's a watt or if it's how much you are burning, you can see how much energy you have burned. So you can see what you need to eat, that you don't need to eat crap food. I mean, of course we know that, but I think it's a tool that will help people to become better. But if they only listen to what the data are telling, then they do not make the experience. So I think it's important to have the combination on both, because we cannot get or become robots. Because this is also why I'm a fully supporter of Swiss Racing Academy. I mean, it's about not just better cyclists, but better humans. And this is also why I'm supporting this young team in Switzerland with 16 youngsters that maybe become one day professional. But on the other side, there's a few one they will not make the professionals, and we want to take care to them. We want to teach them to become better humans, because if we all become better humans, I believe we will have a better world, and especially yourself as a person, you will have also a better life for yourself. Because if you mature, I mean, you need to mature as a human and not just as a cyclist, because the combination is making the difference in our lives. So just become better in your job. One day you might will fall, and that's why it's also there in generally to really work on that. And this is something nice. And even if you give them all those tools, yeah, they might gonna get success. But the thing is, if you not can handle it, if you can't handle it, then you crack. And we know that if you crack down, then it's even harder to stand up and to work and to go behind it. And I think today, a bike, two wheels sounds easy. It is easy, depends just what you want to achieve in your life. And I think they want to achieve that they can become professionals. And today, of course, they work also with all those details I talked about. But there's always on the side, my side, to explain and say, guys, do not forget we are humans and we need to work on it. And that's why today also, when it comes on data, I mean, there's nothing to hide. So if even in terms of security,
that was my next question. If you have like a team and everyone is training and you have like maybe a future world champion within your team, maybe people want to take a look at those data. And we talked about hackers, we talked about data security. Is there a danger that these data might get in the hands of someone of the competitors, of your biggest competitors, who want to know what are you doing and how is he or she at a fitness level, or what is he or she pushing power wise? Is that something that you might be afraid of?
I don't think I'm so afraid, because there's nothing to hide. That's one thing. But of course, these are all your, let's say, healthy data. So it's still something that goes into your healthy ways, and plus you need to be protected in that. But of course, it is important to have data safe securities. But the trainers, and this is why today the trainers, they can sit at home and they can calculate without knowing you. They can go really close to just a few percent of differences to see how much you push at this climb. At the certain race, they see how much you push, or they can calculate, but they don't know maybe how many hours you slept before. They don't know what you have for certain nutritions. They don't know your blood value. So they don't know anything. But today, because of I think cycling is one of the most transparent sports at the moment, because cycling is still an accessible sport. And this is not about the past, but it's just in generally, because I don't know, you listeners and people that are watching, that who has a bicycle at home, and I think most have some of them. And when you ride your bike, you can get some of this feeling what the cyclist goes through. And so you can have a certain imagination about what cyclists are going through when they ride, when they train, when it's going uphill, when they go fast. And that's why I'm on data security guy, definitely, because it's your privacy. Otherwise, one of these huge data I don't say influencers, but one of these huge companies will come and take those data and use them to sell these data to make money out of it. And I think here it's about the human that has data, and this needs to be saved. But like I said, trainers, they can still tell what you push, but you don't want to give your privacy out just to someone. That's why, like I say always, we need to take care on your data, on your privacy. And here definitely you need to have really, really a good security system.
All right, Fabian, thank you very much for sharing those insights with us. It was a wonderful achievement, the gold medal. And like you said, if you rewatch the video, it still gives you goosebumps. So it was an honor to have this talk with you.
Thank you as well. Thank you, Veeam, and thank you to everyone that has joined today and has have the time to it. And yeah, all the best. All the best for your life. Stay safe, and most important, stay healthy. And don't forget to ride your bike, because also riding the bike is definitely something nice. And yeah, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, Fabian.
Bye-bye.
So,
bye-bye. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of our wonderful Veeam stream session.